What is the future of the industry? So again, the first future is clearly the mobile gaming, clearly. But it's also going a little bit deeper. The next one will be cloud gaming. Netflix for games. So there you have three main players. It's Microsoft. It's Google. They just announced it here. I don't know if you saw the stuff. It's Amazon. The three of them are fighting like beasts to be the number one. And they are not the only one on the market. You have Epic, who done Fortnite, who is also on the market trying to make his own channel. They are fighting on exclusivity. They are fighting on everything. It's probably also the most booming stuff that is happening. And it's very interesting. Last but not least, because we were right inside, virtual reality. So now, what about, okay, again, I'm talking about an industry now. Let's go about what people are doing, what companies are doing in this industry. What can we do in a marketing way? How can you use this industry to make yourself known? Well, actually, I'm very thankful to Octagon because they prepared this very nice slide. There is 6 ways of making advertisement in the gaming industry. First way is developer and publishing, which means you do a game of your own. The second one is the gaming platform. You go talk to Sony, to Microsoft, to give some advantage on their platform. The mobile gaming, simpler, you don't make a huge game, you make a mobile game. Why? Because they are much cheaper, much easier to do, to program. But there is also the opportunity to make advertisement on this game. And you will see it's a huge, so in 2017, the advertisement you may see on your mobile sometime by playing, it's 107 billion in 2017. So it's a massive, massive way of going advertise people in their mobile. Events, there we are talking about Gamescom, but we are especially talking about esports, clearly about esports. The talent, there we are talking about esports, but specifically about the athletes on esports. And last but not least, the streaming media. We have to talk about streaming media because again, right now, the number one media about this is certainly not one of the traditional media. That's a guy who is 28 years old. But let's go deeper about those. So major point like publish a game. You could see a very old game with 7-Up, or you could see even a game based on Michael Jackson. I'm not sure it's the best example today, but still it was one of the most biggest events when it came out. So it's really, you can put your brand inside the game, and again, the idea is to touch a generation. This one actually I think is too complicated, but again, it will totally change in something like 1 year. Because this year will come out on Sony PlayStation a software that will allow you to create a game on your own, giving you music, giving you animation, giving you... The idea is that me or you, anyone who has no idea about programming or designing, can do a game. So I can promise you, your kids will generate games. That's the next big thing they will do. They will generate their own games.
Did you know that Zurich used to have a simulation game for insurance?
I didn't
This
know
is back in 1996, 97, and it was called Zappos. Yeah.
Oh, Zappos.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find a copy.
Yeah.
I never played it myself, but I know the guy who ran the program.
Is it risk engineering?
No, it was corporate development at the time, trying to educate the, let's say, the average Zurich employee, so not the specialist at one thing, but to educate everyone about what all the functions that are involved in insurance go through during the insurance process from cradle to grave, let's say. Because you have the claims specialist who will understand claims, but he will not understand necessarily risk engineering, or the underwriter who will not necessarily understand then sales process and so on. So it was a game about, it was for training purposes.
Was it like
Yeah.
a simulation or was it a
It was a
real
simulation
game?
game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a
They
simulation
still
game.
have that course now?
They have now, but it's not programmed on a game. It's a course.
Yeah.
And it goes through a simulation game, like a board game. So it's an aided game, but it's you have to be there with the different players, and you all play together. It's like a board game. But that one was all on computer, so you could play it on your own. Yeah.
You have some games in My Learning actually, which are they're like not the most fancy ones, but it's like a retro style space game there where you can learn about insurance or something, or
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they also did
Yeah.
that space game.
No, but what's amazing is that it already in 1996, right? So this is like
That's
over
also
20
something
years
you
ago.
probably heard this term, gamification.
Yeah.
Gamification is everywhere. The idea is that people learn much quickly via gaming than it will via anything else. They will learn it much quickly, and sometimes they will not even check that they are learning. So that's something that is going out in companies, but in many ways. When LinkedIn asks you to complete your profile, it's already gamification. It's based on principle of gaming. So that's certainly something very complex. Again, this one is pretty hard to do, but it will be easier in the future. Let's go look at the next. The next one I really like. That's the gaming platform. How could you be integrated in a game? So every one of you knows Fortnite. Did you heard about a small movie called Avengers Endgame?
Yes.
There is a special mode there to play it, which means you can be superheroes and stuff. They have a very nice relationship with Disney, and just for you to know, after 2 days they already beat Titanic, and they are the same level that Avatar was after 14 days. And this played a role inside. The movie is nice, but this played inside. 2 days to make the full stuff of Titanic. Again, it's going quicker, stronger. It's the way of communication. It's how people communicate. Another one would be FIFA, who will integrate sponsorship on the side. So again, you don't have to program a game to be part of the game. And of course, as you can see, there is 2,000 type of games. You don't have to think only shooters are important. There is so many different kind of games. It's unbelievable. So why I put you football just to show it can be anything. Next one are the advertisement on mobile. You already saw that 2,000 times. It can be small, it can be big. Again, I think what's very important there is for every one of these games, it's like Facebook. You know who are playing it. So when you're defining your politics about advertisement on mobile or gaming on mobile, mostly you exactly know if I take this game or this stuff, I will talk to 35 years old man or 36 years old woman, or so again, it's very interesting. And it's cheap. Compared to anything else, it's very cheap. And it's not so, they also say, it's not so interruptive of the experience. It doesn't, people don't bother about it. Next one, main entry, will be the events. Of course, you can sponsor events. You have esports events everywhere. The next one would be the World Cup of Fortnite, which the winner, I think, will win $10 million. They are playing it for the last 10 minutes. I tried to qualify, but that's impossible. No, I was 20 points away, but I mean, they are too good. I mean, it's impossible. You know, you're just there and they already construct the stuff and you're still looking for the button to construct. Well, I was hiding all the time and shooting people in the back. It was, I think it's better I didn't qualify for that. But again, it's a 10 weeks long qualification process where every weekend you get 8 people winning. The last of the 8 is making $10,000. The first one is making $1 million. Every weekend, worldwide. And you don't have to make something very special to achieve that. You just have to have the game on your console and you can play. So if your kid's coming out and saying I qualify for that, don't say, oh, say, okay, we're going to train you. You have no chance. Because honestly, yes, that's something that went out. You see university training people, you see now football teams training people. In Switzerland, for example, Basel has its own esport teams. Serve all the biggest ones.
Lausanne aussi.
Lausanne, yes. Lausanne won the last World Cup.
I'll have them finance my pension.
But they are everywhere. And those
Children,
events are
yeah,
there.
the
And
focus.
they are
Stop
viewed
school.
by so many people. I love the article that Anna Maria gave to me. It's more shown than the Super Bowl comes. The Super Bowl, which is the event we knew about, again, no chance. There is more people looking at that and even re-looking at that after that the Super Bowl will ever have. It's done. They lost the first place. So, the athletes, because there is athletes on that. Again, don't go on your typical ideas of who are the athletes. That's the first girl team. She's from Russia. May I remember you that women had the first time the right to vote in Russia? It seems they are also innovative about that because they accept that and pushing that. You see one of the other team playing. As you can see, it's very professional. They all train all the day. They have sponsored already. Adidas is sponsor also for one of them. So they are already a brand preview for so many people. And again, all of these people also talk on the internet, which means they have their own audience. It's not just the event where they took part. From my point of view, they even have more audience than, for example, the golfer we have today in our company. So, going through that, there is again another category, the streamer, media. Here you see one of the best streamers in France, it's called Squeezie. They all have some strange name. And here you see, the idea was to show you it's very different. Here you see people eating something, telling people what they think about it.
And the kids love it.
And people love it because, of course, you can see they have special clothes, they have special way of doing things. People love it. I will not go on I will go on the influencer a little bit later because it's a huge part of the thematic. But as you can see, that's also a way of communicating. So, lessons learned. The three main departments in the future in gaming will be mobile gaming, cloud gaming, and virtual reality. And the six main processes in advertisement in gaming are developing and publishing, gaming platforms, mobile gaming, events, talents, streaming media.